Health Coach. I'm here today with a quick tutorial on how to use a very powerful tool with your health coaching clients to bring clarity, motivation, and measurable progress. And the tool I am referring to is the scaling question. By integrating scaling questions into your coaching sessions, you can help your clients develop self-awareness, set realistic goals, and stay motivated on their journey toward better health. So today I'm going to share with you a 6-step process with examples of exactly what to say when using scaling questions. Before we get to that process, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with scaling questions, I just want to clarify and remind you what they actually are. So scaling questions involve asking our clients to rate their experiences, their feelings, their confidence, their motivation, or progress on a scale. The scale is typically from 0 to 10, and this technique really helps anchor your client to where they truly are on a particular aspect of their health and wellness journey. And a lot can be learned from where your client rates themselves on the scale. So let's dive into the 6-step process for using scaling questions effectively. So step 1 is all about choosing the right moment to ask the scaling question. So you can really use scaling questions at various points throughout the coaching process and during a session. You can use them at the beginning to really assess your client's current state, their readiness for change, their motivation levels, or how important their goal is to them. You can also use scaling questions midway through your process or a session to assess their progress on specific goals or action steps. And of course, you can use scaling questions during the end, during action planning, to assess your client's confidence level in completing their action steps. So during a session, if ever you find yourself reflecting back and saying something like, "It sounds like this is really important to you," or "It sounds like you're really motivated," or "It sounds like you're ready," well then those are the cues to actually follow through and find out how important, how motivated, or how ready they are by asking a scaling question. I would say that the most common applications in health coaching are to assess how motivated our client is to make a change, what their readiness is to make the change, how important a certain topic or area of health is to them, and then how confident they are that there'll be success in achieving a particular goal or action step. Of course, there are lots of other uses for sure. So step 2 is about framing the question. So when the opportunity arises to ask a scaling question, you'll want to be very clear in phrasing your question and explaining the scale to your client. For example, you might want to say, on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 means not confident at all and 10 means extremely confident, how confident do you feel about sticking to your new exercise routine this week? I see a lot of new coaches stacking their scaling questions by asking something like, so how motivated are you to start exercising? On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you're going to start this week? So they've actually asked 2 things. They've asked about motivation and confidence levels there, which could be 2 completely different scores or ratings. So do make sure to only ask the client to rate themselves on one thing. I also see folks just asking something like, how motivated are you? And not actually giving the scale. So if you're going to do it, ask the full scaling question. It is really important to be very clear and precise with your question. So step 3 is to explore the rating. So once the client provides the rating, you want to delve a little bit deeper. You want to understand what the current rating means to your client. So ask them, what makes them choose that number? For example, you rated your confidence as a 6. What aspects make it a 6 and not a lower number like a 3 or a 4? So if the client is in that mid-range, like a 4 to a 7, their confidence is not that high. They could be maybe experiencing ambivalence, and there is some work to be done there. So you can learn a lot from these scaling questions. So what you want to do is go backward on the scale first so the client can see that they're not a 0, that they've already done some things, perhaps taken a few steps, or they have some tools and resources in place. Then you want to identify their strengths and resources. So explore what factors contributed to that current rating and how can they leverage those strengths. For example, what resources or strategies helped you in the past reach that 6? And then you want to address the gaps. So discuss what could help them move to the next higher number. So what would it take for you to get that 6 to a 7? I see a lot of new coaches asking what it would take to get you to a 10, and that's too high of a jump from a 6 to a 10. In coaching, we like to take those incremental baby steps. So just go to the next number on the scale from where they started. Then step 4 is to set some goals and action steps. So you might say something like, so based on the learnings and insights that you've just shared, what is the first step that you'd like to take? What's one small action step you can commit to over the next 2 weeks around this? And then you're going to help your client set that SMART goal and their action step. Step 5 is to revisit and reflect. So in follow-up sessions, you can come back to this by asking your client, so when we first started, you rated yourself on exercise a 5. Now that you've been working on this for a few weeks, where would you rate yourself now? You can also do this follow-up type thing during one session. So you might say at the beginning of the session, where would you rate your stress level right now on a scale of 0 to 10? And then at the end of the session, once you've explored and processed the topic, you might come back and ask your client again, now that we've talked about your stress and you have a goal and an action plan, where would you rate your stress level now on a scale of 0 to 10? So you can use the scaling questions to assess progress and make adjustments. And this is really going to help maintain momentum, and it really does provide a clear indication of improvement over time. So the final step, step number 6, is to celebrate success with your client. You want to recognize your client's improvements and successes, no matter how big or small. So you might say something like, you've moved from a 5 to a 7. What do you think contributed to this progress? What enables you to make this shift? This will help your client learn about themselves and discover what works best for them. So to wrap up, we talked about the fact that scaling questions are powerful tools to use with your clients that offer a really structured way to assess and evaluate certain aspects of the behavioral change process. And by using this 6-step process that I shared with you today, you can really help your clients gain insights, build their confidence, and achieve their health and wellness goals more systematically. So remember, to be empathetic, to be patient and supportive throughout the process, really encouraging your clients to recognize their achievements and to continue striving for those improvements that they want to make. So I hope this has been helpful today. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'm always happy to answer them. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.